Today I want to talk about structure and predictable routines in our lives, but I'm going to make it applicable to the nomad life. My name is Minivan Lee, and I've been a nomad. I've been traveling in my minivan for 6 years. And I want to discuss the differences between seasoned nomads and brand new nomads, and the different activities and the different behaviors that we do. I do enjoy living in my minivan. I really do. I enjoy it. It's not rainbows and unicorns, as I say every single day, but I do enjoy it. I like the adventure of it, and I like to be able to move around whenever I want to. I can change my scenery outside my windows at all times. I can pick up and go. Basically, my suitcase is always packed, and I can always get on the go. But do I move around in different areas of the country on a regular basis? Not so much anymore. I consider myself a seasoned nomad. And when I first became a nomad, a newbie, I was all the time I wanted to keep moving. I wanted to move here and move there. Even when I'm in the city, I was like, this is so much fun driving. I am having so much fun with this. But as over 6-year time, I don't know, not so much. I want to have a predictable stability. I want things to be predictable in my life. Now, studies show that predictable routines are really what keep us sane. If everything is up and down and we don't know where things are, we don't know where we're going, and things are constantly changing all the time, it can make us a little crazy. 70% of human behavior are routine behaviors in our lives. 70%. We get up, we do whatever we do. Those are routine behaviors. We know exactly, like for our schedules, we know when we're going to do our laundry. We know where we're going to do our laundry. We have our friends. There's just 70% of our lives. We're going to make dinner. We're going to eat breakfast. All those things. I'm in a point in my career as a nomad and my career as a senior citizen, I guess you would call me. In my career of that, and being a YouTube creator, I'm enjoying predictability. I want to do 2 shout outs. One is to Susan McGuire, and I'll explain in a minute. Hi, Susan. You have emailed me before. You leave comments on my YouTube channel, and you're in my Facebook group, Minivan Lee's Nomad Life. Thank you so much. And please, everybody go there. It's a Facebook group if you like Facebook, and we've got a real community there. I also want to do a shout out to Tina Strong, and I promised I would do a shout out if you're new and you go, or even if you've been with me for a long time and you leave comments and I can see that you're going down into earlier videos. Just look and scroll down, and I've got almost 600 videos. Actually, I think it's going on 700 videos, yeah. And look at my earlier videos. There's a lot of information there that I've put out over the past 3 years. So thank you, Tina Strong. You've been leaving comments on them, and you asked for a shout out. So here you go. You can ask for a shout out, and I will do it. Let's go back to Susan McGuire. She just left a comment recently. She's up and down the Pacific coast, and that's how she's living her life as a nomad, and she's living it in urban settings. She stays in one spot for a long time, and then she moves when she's ready to move, but then she stays in one spot again. That sounds really good, Susan. Yeah, I'm thinking about that for sure. But that's exactly what I do too. So good job, Susan. You really kind of made me thirsty for the Pacific Ocean and the coast, California coast. Well, that's what I do. I stay in one spot for a while. Now, I will mention I did have a recent comment that made me really think about this. You have mentioned, more than one have mentioned, well, you must stay stable in one spot for a very long time. And I think that these comments are coming from new people onto my channel. Welcome. I really appreciate you. And I do appreciate you when you watch my video all the way through. Thank you, thank you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. That helps me. Give me a thumbs up, yeah. So I want to address anybody. I want to talk about this subject. This is for everybody. But I also want to explain a couple things for you who are new, who don't know me real well. Is this year, this winter, I wanted to stay in Tucson. I just did. Over the past 6 years, I've either been on the East Coast or I've been up in Quartzsite, hanging out for the winter. But this winter, I wanted to come back to Tucson. I've lived in Tucson for 40 years, not 4, but 40. And there's something special about being in Tucson in the winter, I think. You know, you've got the beautiful Catalina Mountains, you got the Rincon Mountains, you've got snow caps up there. And another thing too is I know Tucson, obviously. It makes me feel stable. It helps with my predictability. I know the areas. It's easy for me to drive in the city. And maybe I just needed that sanity this winter. I needed to feel the stability of a regular routine. I needed the stability of knowing where things are. I don't have to guess, well, which laundromat is going to be the best. Okay, now Google Maps, take me there, let me punch in, someplace I've never been before. Actually, for me personally, that can kind of wear me down a little bit. It just can. It can wear me down. I want to know where I'm going and what I'm doing and what's the best place. I know most of the areas in Tucson. I know where I want to go and where I don't want to go. So this has kind of kept me sane for the winter, this winter. Now, last winter, I spent almost 4 months in Quartzsite and in that area. I mean, it was nice. It really was. But I noticed being in Quartzsite more that I was outside without shade. And I did notice it's really hard on your skin when you're outside all the time. I mean, you've got the sun coming down. Even in the winter, you've got UV rays coming on your face, on your skin. And when spring kind of hits, which is just around the corner in a couple weeks, we'll be hitting spring in the Southwest. The wind, the wind. If you're outside in the wind, with sand in the desert, you might as well take a Brillo pad and scrub your face, because that wind coming at you is going to pit your skin. It's not good for your hair. So in order to survive in the spring, you're either going to have to stay in your van all the time when the wind is up, and even all day, you're going to need to get out of the sun, or you're going to be out there, or you're going to have to cover your face, your hair, your eyes. Yeah. I mean, you can do that with a shemagh, and I do have shemoghs on sale on minivanly.com. So, and that's what I would wear. It just was uncomfortable. I wanted to be in Tucson. That's why I'm spending time here. Most nomads have summer camps and winter camps. And I've had some comments recently from you who are out there and doing this, and you're explaining what you do. It's not uncommon. We have summer homes and we have winter homes. I mean, we can't possibly go too far north because of the winter. If you're going to be up in the mountains, even in the springtime, you could get caught in a snowstorm, even in the spring. We have to be careful in this winter where we go. So let's see, the winter before that, what I did the winter before last was I went up and down. I went Tucson, and then I went up to Quartzsite, and I spent a lot of time in Lake Havasu. Yeah. Parker, I would spend weeks on time in Parker, because before COVID, you could stay at the Blue Water Casino. And I made a lot of friends there, and we would go up and down Quartzsite, Parker, and then up to Lake Havasu. Yeah. So that's what I did. And the other year before, I was going across the country back and forth. So I do travel. But I'm at a point where, here's the deal with a lot of traveling, everybody. You got higher gas prices. Now, with COVID came inflation a little bit. Sure, a lot of people lost their income, they lost their livelihood, and prices started going up big time. So with that came lack of auto parts. There still is, I've heard, a lack of new cars out there on the market. So what's happening is everybody is keeping the vehicles that they have. So the price is going higher to find even a used van, a minivan, or an Econoline van, a high top, a ProMaster high top. And also, maintenance has gone up too. The cost of maintenance. So many people are keeping their vans that they're having to get them fixed. And there's a wait time, and there's a higher cost for parts. So with all that together, oh my gosh, I particularly don't want to keep driving day after day after day after day. I do know that there are YouTube creators that do that. They're always on the move, always on the go. They're always showing, they're more like a travel channel. They're always moving around. That's not me. I drive a 2014, and although that doesn't seem like it'd be too old, it's 9 years old. And maintenance, there's always a maintenance issue with a car that's, 9 years old. There's things that have to be replaced. They have to be monitored. Yeah. So for me to keep driving, going here and going there, no. So this is where I'm at, and this is my understanding of where other nomads are also. Here's another aspect of driving all the time. I just don't feel good doing it. It's hard on my body because you're sitting up, your bottom is on there, and then down to the floor. So your body goes like this a lot of the time. I'm getting to the point where driving 2 hours is my limit every day if I'm going to go out and I'm going to travel. I used to be able to do 4. I used to be able to do 8, but if I really need to go somewhere quickly, that's what I do. But it's just not my cup of tea anymore. 2 hours travel is good for me. And then I want to relax. I want to stretch out my legs. And here's another aspect of traveling a lot is my exercising. I am enjoying being in Tucson and going every day, almost every day, to the gym and working out. I'm starting to get my muscles back again, and I'm really going for it. So I need to do that at least 6 days a week. If I'm always on the travel, that just isn't going to happen. And I'm all for health. If it's not healthy for me, I'm not going to do it. So let me just say this about that. I am a female minivan dweller. I live in my minivan. I do it for economic reasons, and there's a video that explains different reasons why I want to live in my minivan, what drew me to this lifestyle. And one was crappy rentals with what I could afford. I have vowed, and I don't know if that will stick, but I vowed that I was not going to rent ever again. I'm not going to have to deal with crappy landlords. I'm not going to deal with noisy and sometimes violent neighbors. And if you look at that one video, in one video, I talk about 2 instances where I had leaky roofs. And then the other video, I talked about 2 instances living in apartments of violence. And there was death in one of them. And it was a family member. So I just really don't want to rent anymore. I am happy in my van. Another of you asked, well, what is the size of your van when you're parked with my bins here? I have bins here. What's the size of this inside of here? She says, is it like a 5x3? And I said, it probably is. But I have everything I need here. And I will mention, when I lived in a house, I didn't move around the house that much. I mean, I went into the kitchen, sure. But I was out moving around. I mean, I'd go for walks outside. And I would sit at my desk, or I'd sit on the couch. I mean, I didn't have that huge of a house. So I can do everything that I need to do, and I can do it here. When I need to get out of my van, I go to the park. I make sure that I have sunblock on, not sunscreen, but sunblock. And I try to stay out of the sun. There's shade at the park. I can go to a restaurant. I can go there and have coffee. I can walk around. I can go shopping. I can go to my daughter's house. I can go to my son's. So there are places I can go. Definitely. So I'm not just sitting in my minivan 24/7. I've got quite a few videos where I show, I tell you, I said, I'm going places. I'm going to take you with me. I will mention one time I had somebody actually email me and say, you know, Lee, I love your videos, but I do get tired of you seeing you go and doing laundry, or seeing you go here and there. So there are times where it's like a YouTube creator, we have to do what we want to do, and we have to do what we like to do, because we can please all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time. But we cannot please everybody all the time. So there's this and that. I will also mention that there have been videos in the past where I feature a town, or I feature something in that town, and I just don't seem to get as many viewers on those videos. So I like to bring you, I will still do that here and there, but what I like to bring you is what my life consists of. I will show you where I go, and I'll take you with me, but I like to talk and show you things inside of my van. And personally, this is my studio. So I hope this answers your questions about why am I so stable here in Tucson right now? What do I do all day? Well, let me just explain what I've done so far today. Today, I kind of slept in just a little bit, but thus far I have gone to the storage unit. Then I went to Whole Foods and I picked up a package from Amazon. Then I came back later. I'm going to go to the gym. I haven't been there yet. And I'm going to make a salad here. And might even go catch a movie today. It's very cloudy outside, and I think it's going to rain in just a little bit. It's been a cold winter. But spring is right around the corner, and I know a lot of you are mentioning that, hey, we're going to be on the move again pretty soon, aren't we? I'll be going to my summer areas, and I'll be doing some camping this summer, and I'll bring that to you also. But if I'm going to visit a bunch of national parks, and I don't know if this summer that's going to happen. Like I said, I'm going to keep some of the driving down on my van a little bit, yeah, because maintenance can get high. Now, my main mechanic is here in Tucson, so I will try to get everything done. That's one of the reasons I wanted to be here this winter, too. I'm going to be getting new tires. I need those. And I'm going to be getting a new windshield. I need to call my insurance company on that and get some good shade on my windshield, so the sun isn't coming in so hard. Yeah. But I'm a solo female van dweller who lives in her minivan. I'm not a tourist. I like stability, predictability, and I like to just stay in one spot. I like to enjoy my life with my minivan. I don't want to be here inside 24/7, but this is my home. And I like to just live my life. I don't want to be a tourist. I'm done with being a tourist. I think it zaps me of my energy. So if you are thinking about this lifestyle, and it is fun, I think it is cheaper than living in a bricks and sticks. If you're going to unless you've got your mortgage all paid and everything like that. But I do think it is a cheaper, if you do have financial issues in your life, this is a fun life. But you don't have to be a tourist. You don't have to constantly be running back and forth. And you can do the urban dwelling that I call urban nestling. What I call really is I'm more of a day tripper. I like to trip around the city. I will be going out camping this summer more, but I didn't do it much this winter. So I hope you enjoyed this little discussion about what van life is to me and what van life could be to you. Now, if you've got a different idea and you want to share your story, the comments are right there. I do encourage you to go in some of my earlier videos and go to minivanlee.com. I do have neck gaiters. One of you asked me about, is it good for the braids? Could you have a lot of braids? It can go way over your braids. You can get them on over this. You can get this neck gaiter on over your braids big time. And you can wear it as a headgear. So go for it. And I've got the big sunglasses, and I've got the book, How to Live in a Van, the Minivan Leeway. A van, a minivan, yes. And just go on Amazon, type in Minivan Lee, it will come up. I love you guys. And you ask me questions, I will explain. I know you guys do have a lot of questions about this lifestyle. It's becoming a lot more popular. There's a lot more people out here. So until tomorrow, everybody, love you. Tomorrow is another episode of the Minivan Lee Life. Bye.